Street raised, I was brought up where the G stayed. Peep game, those who didn't catch one to your brain. Stay in your lane, never wolfed it, boy, I never fake. Watch them break, watch them fall, still I remain. Never change, never try to come and rearrange. Never hate, never tripping on somebody's plate. That shit is lame, leave that type of shit for the dames. The streets don't play, oh catch up, watch your life as capes. One game, homie, that you shouldn't play. There's real soldiers in the streets gunning every day. This shit is normal in the vital part of every day. It ain't great, but I'm loyal, so I'll never change. I keep repeating, but I mean it, never lose your way. Heed the warning and the missing just for talking brave. Fuck my enemies, two faces and all the snakes. Now for this matter, just name the time and name the place. We'll get it active, fuck the gap, and I mean face to face. Real gangsters never fold, then we never shake. I was brought up to...
You are now watching M.O.D. Entertainment.
What's good, G-Life? This right here is beautiful Southern California. California A. You already know California, home of the high life, big city living, beautiful weather, sandy beaches, with a lot of things to do when it comes to the nightlife. But California is also gang banging capital, bro. Shit goes down in California. You know, it is land of hundreds and hundreds of documented gang members, along with gangs that have already been right here for a long time. Now, with the presence of Hispanic gangs being here for so long, you're gonna get different terms, you know, being used by these, you know, gang members. You know, terms like locos and vagos and criminals and crooks and bandits and gangsters and, you know, psychos and, you know, to everything in the mix. You know, to how they refer themselves, whether it be the name of their barrio or cliques. Another term that gets used a lot, that has sparked a bunch of cliques and a bunch of barrios that use this term, you know, and it's one of the ones that I've been getting, you know, asked for, yeah, do a video on this, do a video on that, which is the name cyclones. Cyclones, a lot of barrios have cyclones cliques. A lot of barrios have cyclones in their name. And not only that, but cyclones, you know, being a, you know, well named due to Chicano rap, and, you know, it's, you know, being thrown in there. You know, people have, you know, heard the name so often. So they have asked me, you know, hey, you do a video on it? For sure. So with no further ado, there's several of them. So we're going to get into it right here. Now let's start it. Now we'll be starting off with the originators. The originators, I say, because this is where people started getting more familiar with the term cyclones. Because cyclones, the one that I'm here to cover, started originally in the SGV, the San Gabriel Valley. To be more exact, we shall be making our way to the city of West Covina. West Covina is home to the barrio CYS. CYS translating to barrio cyclones. So don't get it confused with crazies, because crazies also uses the CYS, but they're two different barrios. You know what I mean? One is crazy. This is cyclones, and everyone knows what a cyclone is. A cyclone is, you know, similar to a typhoon or a hurricane. It's a you know, Mother Nature's destructive force. Nothing can stop it. It's literally here to cause damage and desmadre. So that is why they grabbed that name, you know what I mean? Because, you know, it's them, you know, causing destruction just like a cyclone does. Now, this barrio has gotten more you know, well-known due to the fact that this is the barrio of the Chicano rapper, Mr. Capone. I know people don't like him. They say this and that vato. You know, say what you want, bro. It doesn't change the facts. This is his barrio. What he puts it down for, he really does put it down. He really is from that neighborhood, and he really is, you know, from the set, dog. What you want? You know what I mean? And it is a real gang. You know, I know people, you know, were saying, nah, he died or is not around. It's Wooty. That's people just mad because they dislike the individual because he's not Mexican. Why does that matter? I have no idea, bro. There's these people that just, I don't know, they want attention, homie. That's all I can say. Now, the barrio Cyclones right here in West Covina, their barrio was everything that was from Francisquito Avenue all the way to Valinda Avenue. From Valinda Avenue, their barrio stretched all the way to Maple Grove Street. From Maple Grove Street, their barrio extended to Lake Ellen Avenue and back around. So everything that was in the middle was considered their barrio. So that was throughout Outwood, throughout Holton, throughout um, Double Grove, throughout passing Covina Road, all of that. Not a big amount of territory, but nonetheless, it was their stomping grounds where they roam around, where they did their thing. Now, this barrio was never a large neighborhood. Essentially, here, where it started in the original the original set was only roughly about 60 members, 70 members to the most. Now there's a few hundred of them because and people are going to be bullshit. I don't see that. Whoa. They are not only located here in West Covina, but this barrio has already, expanded to other different places, to Mexico, to Seattle, to Washington. So it has already spread to Mexico. It has already spread to several different locations, starting their own clica, but it's the same barrio, CYS, Cyclones, they're the same ones. Not all the Cyclone barrios are connected, not all of them, just some of them. You know what I mean? So they are a few hundred, at least from what I was told, is that, they're easily more than 300 members to them, nationwide. But right here, obviously in West Covina, because of gentrification, the numbers have, smallened, since then. But nonetheless, a real neighborhood who has a real individual still doing their thing, you know what I mean? You can still find their activities. I mean, they haven't gone nowhere, despite what people are going to want to say. Of course, haters are going to want to hate and, wolf it on the internet, bro. What can I tell you? Now this barrio right here, like I said, it is, Mr. Capone and also Grumpy and a few other, because they have a few rappers, that are from Cyclones. I heard a few tracks from, there's Flaco and the Grumpy, and Grumpy could spit, man. So it goes, Mr. Capone, obviously, who's helped, Chicano rappers and has gave them opportunities and, has done his thing helping the raza, bro. So this is his barrio, the originators, Barrio Cyclones, which started roughly around the 80s and continue to still represent theirs and hold it down for the Barrio Cyclones right here, repping it. Now, to find the next Barrio Cyclones neighborhood, we actually have to maneuver our way to the south side of Los Angeles, the double S, the south side portion being what's, referred to as Maywood, Southgate, Bell Gardens, Bell, all of that, Cudahy, all that area. To the area that is known as, Huntington Park, pues. Huntington Park, obviously, is an area that definitely cracks, gang infested, is definitely known to go down in HP. Now, yes, believe it or not, in Huntington Park does exist a cyclone neighborhood. Despite what individuals want to say, they can say what they want. I know this for a fact. I got a few homies from this neighborhood, solid individuals, who I have kicked it with and many drunken nights and solid homeboys that I have to this day, you know what I mean? That I know from this barrio. So I know that they with the business and they're a real neighborhood, which is the barrio C13, C13 translating to Cyclones, 13 obviously, or, sometimes you do see it up as, SS, SSC13 or CHP, Cyclones Huntington Park. But the original, you could see it up at CYS as well, but the original one is C13. That's how you see it, And now, I was told that this barrio was different from the other Cyclones, but then I was told that it's the same one. So it could be that they started off as two different Cyclones, and now that they're just one whole, like they just, found out about each other and just, get it. Or it could be that these, homie moved, to Huntington Park and started it there. Because I do know that the West Covinas, say that the originators. Because the one right here in HP was roughly always a small neighborhood, but nonetheless, we had real individuals, because this neighborhood was always roughly about 40 to 50 members to them, but down ass homies, you know what I mean? Real motherfuckers that held it down. Now, I was told that this, the reason the name for the barrio and how it became was that there was a member whose name was Cyclone who, I don't know if he was going to get into Florence or broke off, or there was a fall off and started his, Cyclone neighborhood, you know what I mean? Right there in Huntington Park. And their territory was everything that was from Slauson Slauson, their territory extended to Santa Fe Avenue to Gage, and Gage to Miles. Everything that was in the middle, that sliced through Randolph, was considered their, neighborhood. Where Pacific and Randolph is. I know people know where that's at. You know what I mean? There's all the fucking shopping center right there, and shit be cracking. Roaming around those back streets was their barrio, their stomping grounds where they did their thing. And they really did their thing, homie. You know what I mean? Like I said, I have a few homies out of this barrio, so I know that they held it down, clashing with, other neighborhoods around that area because, Huntington Park does have several neighborhoods. You got the Brads, you got Huntington Park locals, you got Florencia, you got all kinds of shit that be going down right here. But the Cyclones neighborhood always held it down, 10 toes down, and, continue to still be right there and have some real motherfuckers from that barrio, homie. You know what I mean? Don't ever get it twisted, homie. These vatos ain't playing right here on the south side, and they will, put it down. They hold it down. Shout out to the homie Whisper. Shout out to the homie Glims. Much love. You already know my boys. Shout out to Blinky as well. Rest in peace, Sleepy, shout out to all the homies from Cyclones that be holding it down right there in the south side and Huntington Park, putting it down for the Cyclones. Now, to find the next barrio, we actually have to be maneuvering our way to the area that is known as Pomona. You already know Pomona is another area that is definitely active. It definitely cracks in Pomona. Pomona is no joke, bro. There's be some real killers out here doing their damn thing. Now, the barrio Pomona, like I said, it's full of, a gang of different neighborhoods, and, some of them often getting confused for each other. And this is home to one of these, Cyclones neighborhoods, which is known as the barrio Pomona Sur Cyclones. Now, it is different from the Pomona Sur Locotes, not the two different gangs, and they're different from the Pomona Sur Olives. This is the Pomona Sur Cyclones, or Pomona Sur, as you see it up, PSC or PS, for their barrio. And, this is, the neighborhood that uses the Tasmanian devil as their mascot. Obviously, Tasmanian devil because, he causes a cyclone. So that's like their mascot. That's why you see it in their graffiti, their tattoos, all of that. And they're roughly, one of the more smaller neighborhoods here in Pomona, but a real neighborhood that did their damn thing, you know what I mean? Don't ever get it twisted. From what I was told, roughly around 50 to 60 members to their barrio. Like I said, a little bit more of the smaller side, but they do business. I mean, they ain't playing. And their barrio was everything that was from Mission Boulevard all the way to Buena Vista Avenue all the way to 9th, and from 9th, their territory still extended all the way to Park Avenue and back around, which is not a large amount of territory, but nonetheless, it's still their turf, where they do their damn thing. But now, the heart of their hood, their main domain, their dojo, is right there on Cypress. Cypress is, where you can find them doing their thing, where they were, holding it down and still continue to hold it down because, like I said, they're real motherfuckers that do real things. And the Pomona, like I said, they're different from the rest of the Pomona, Sud, neighborhoods. That's just how it be on this side. And they still continue to be an active, functioning neighborhood representing for theirs. Now, as we maneuver our way to the area that is known as the Desert Empire, you already know the Desert Empire is an area that definitely cracks. Desert Empire consisting of what's Palm Springs, what's considered Cathedral City, Coachella, Indio, and all those areas on that side of town. And yes, it is home to one of these Cyclones barrios. Now, to be more specific, we shall be heading to the area that is known as Indio. You already know Indio definitely cracks with multiple neighborhoods there, like, Jackson Terrace, Surtown, Campo, all kinds of barrios. It is also home to one of these Cyclones neighborhoods, which is known as Barrio Mecca Vineyard La Yarda Cyclones. Now, Barrio Mecca Vineyard is not located in Mecca. It's located here in Indio. Now, the reason why it's called Mecca Vineyard is because that was the name of the apartment plexes in which their neighborhood, would hang out. Their kicking spot, their hangout spot, was named, That was the name of it. So that is why they have that name. Uh, and yes, they are known as La Yarda Cyclones. Mecca Vineyard, La Yarda Cyclones. So they are a cyclone neighborhood, and they are a well-known neighborhood right here in the city of Indio. The south portion of Indio is what they represent. Now, their vital consists of everything that's on Indio Boulevard. Indio Boulevard. Their turf still stretches all the way to Jackson Street. Jackson Street, their territory heads all the way to Data Avenue. Data Avenue, their territory still extends all the way to Grand Street and to uh, Carry Carrion Boulevard. That's how you say it, and to Cajon Street and back around. So everything that's in the middle is considered their barrio. You know what I mean? But like I said, the apartment plexes that are right there is their home domain, their dojo. And like I said, it does get chaotic here because you have so many different barrios jam packed within the same area. You got the Jackson Terrace right there. You got the Southside Indio. Like I said, it definitely gets on and popping. But Barrio Meca Vineyard has been right here holding it down and continue to still represent for theirs. Another barrio that uses a cyclone title. For this one, we actually have to maneuver our way to the IE, the Inland Empire. You already know, bro. The IE is definitely an area that's no joke, bro. They definitely be cracking. And, an area that is very gang infested. Like I said, it's just chaotic. It goes down right here on this side of town. Don't ever get it twisted. Now, we shall be maneuvering our way to the area that is known as Mount Clara. Mount Clara is, home to several neighborhoods, and one of them being a cyclone barrio, and a real one that handles business, that does their thing, because I hear people always trying to, say this and that. They just be hating, bro. Now, Mount Clara Barrio Cyclones is a well-known neighborhood right here within the IE. And they are different from the Mount Clara Rifa. So you have Mount Clara Rifa and you have Mount Clara Cyclones. So two different barrios, not the same thing. And their territory consists of everything that's from Orchard Street. Orchard Street, their territory goes all the way to Miles Avenue. Miles Avenue, their territory extends all the way to Hope Boulevard. Hope Boulevard, their turf still heads all the way to what Central Avenue, and Central Avenue back to Orchard and back around. So everything that's in the middle is considered their barrio. Like I said, pretty massive amount of turf, and they be doing their thing. You know what I mean? Like I said, a real neighborhood with members up to the hundreds, at least from what I was told. And they've been right here since the 80s established and continue to still be established, and like I said, they are two different neighborhoods, from Mount Clara, Rifa to the Cyclones, the CYS, as you see, MCYS, or MCCYS, but yeah, like I said, a lot of these Cyclones neighborhoods use the CYS title too. That's why it gives a lot of confusion. They're proud of it, and they still keep representing right there for the Cyclones. Now, to find the next barrio on the list, we actually have to maneuver our way to the area that is known as Orange County, the OC. Oh, you already know the OC had to have a cyclone neighborhood, you know what I mean? I mean, the OC's got everything, bro. It definitely pops in the OC, Orange County, you know what I mean? Now, to be more specific, we shall be maneuvering our way to the area that is known as Anaheim, Anaheim, is where we're able to find one of these cyclone neighborhoods, which is known as the barrio AUST, translating to barrio Anaheim Underhill Street. Now, I know what you're thinking. Shadow, man, I thought we were covering Cyclones neighborhood. Hold on. We won't get to that part. Now, like I have said before, Orange County's barrios, have, another name to them, like a mascot name to their barrios, what their barrios known as, a part of the actual name of the hood. They have, a title to them. And these guys are known as Los Cyclones. So that's Underhill, Los Cyclones. That is their other name. Los Cyclones, it's what's, the Underhill Street. And the Underhill Street's neighborhood is everything that's from, their territory is everything is pretty extensive. Is where the 91's at, all the way to, I would have to say their territory is pretty extensive. Their territory extends all the way to State College Boulevard. State College Boulevard. Their territory extends all the way to Lincoln Avenue. Lincoln Avenue to Sunkiss, and Sunkiss back around. Everything in the middle, which is a gigantic amount of territory in which they roam around and do their thing. Like I said, dog, they really do handle business right here. And they are in the hundreds as well, from what I was told. An old school barrio already been right here since the 70s and, well established. And yes, they still be representing it and holding it down for theirs and putting their barrio on the map for that Anaheim Underhill Street, Los Cyclones representing. Now, another neighborhood that you have, but for this one, we actually have to maneuver our way to the area that is known as Idaho. Yes, Idaho does have, Hispanic neighborhoods. I know what people are thinking, ain't nothing but white folks over there and farms and all kinds of shit. No, and like I said, bro, when you have raza and there's problems, you're going to get chaos, you're going to get barrios. And this is home of one of these barrios, which is known as the varrio BPC. BPC translating to varrio Brown Pride Cyclones. Brown Pride Cyclones is a neighborhood right here, yes, in Idaho, located in the West Lake apartment plexus. That is their home, their domain, their dojo. That is where they held it down and will continue to hold it down. Now, like I said, these barrios on this side, because there is several barrios, it's not just them. They have 18 MS, Florence, and, several other, so it gets on and popping. And they also have, disciples and cribs and bloods and, that they feud with. So it goes down, you know what I mean? Don't ever get these areas twisted. Like I said, don't judge a book by its cover. The Brown Pride Cyclone is a well-known neighborhood right here, with members up to 30 to 40 members, I was told. So not as large, but, for it being this area, definitely pops. But yeah, that's what's up with the Brown Pride Cyclones right here representing for them. Now, to find the next cyclone neighborhood, we actually have to be maneuvering to my home area, the San Fernando Valley. Yes, the San Fernando Valley is home to one of these cyclone neighborhoods. And no, I am not talking about the cyclones that used to be in Silmar that became Sanfed. I am talking about a different cyclones. Now, to find this neighborhood, we actually have to maneuver our way to the area that is known as Granada Hills. Yes, Granada Hills does have neighborhoods, despite what individuals want to think and say. Nah, ain't no neighborhoods there. Look, bro, you can feel how you want, homie. It don't change the facts. Granada Hills is definitely home to one of these neighborhoods, which is known as the barrio DYP. Now, DYP, was a crew that became a neighborhood, roughly around the 2000s, they became a neighborhood, been a crew since the early 90s, later 80s, early 90s, when they were a crew that was established, that did their thing. They used to stand for Deadly Young Players. Since then, it has, morphed into and became the neighborhood that is known as today. Now, Deadly Young Players is the original term, but they use Deadly Cyclones as well. Deadly Cyclones is now the one that you see and hear more often than not when we're talking about the DYP neighborhood. And they have members, at least from what I was told, is roughly around in the 90s now. Because they're spread out in the SGV, the Antelope Valley. So they're spread out in different locations and representing for theirs, you know what I mean? And the DYP, and they are Green Raggers, but they are homeboys. But green is their, color that they rock into, you know what I mean? And right here in Granada Hills, where the school's at and where Granada Hills Park, that was their domain, their dojo, where they held it down and where they continue to still be established, running mucks and putting theirs on the map for that DYP, the Delhi Cyclones right there.